Hello, welcome back. In today's video we talk about an amazing announcement and 3 new wonderful reissues, amongst those the 2 new Atlantic 75 titles. But of course let's start with an announcement that happened yesterday. Boom, there it was. 2 new UHQRs. Chad announced the Sonny Rollins Way Out West, and the Art Pepper meets the rhythm sections as 45 RPM UHQRs, mastered by Bernie Grundman. And yeah, that's of course for us jazz lovers, audiophiles, collectors. That's of course quite something. Although of course, for example, the Way Out West has seen some reissues in the last time, but as we all know by now, at least those of us who are into the UHQRs, this will be the ultimate release. I'm so sure that those 2 releases will be the best sounding ones, and so I can't wait to have them in my hands. And that's also something I really do like. He announced them yesterday, and they come in 14 days. From today on. So that's how I love it. Announce them, order them, and then in a very decent amount of time get them. Although I have to say I was surprised about the numbers. The UHQRs are strictly limited, and we don't see 10,000, 5,000, 4,000. No, we only see 2,750. So this is really for the collector, for the lovers of those wonderful jazz recordings. And yeah, we will see how long they last. I personally can imagine not that long, as we should really not forget that those are 2 giants of a title, in my opinion. Really, really, really big ones. So let's see. But yeah, very happy about that announcement. That being said, let's get into the things we already have in our hands. I know you in the US, you are on the lucky side. You have them a few days earlier than us. But now we have them here in Europe. Those 2 new Atlantic 75 titles. First, let's start with Close to the Edge from Yes. Here you have the jacket. And before we get into the release, please let me talk a bit about the jacket. When I opened it and felt it and saw it, I was amazed. I don't know if it really gets through. It has a wonderfully structured jacket. Maybe those of you who have the Crosby, Stills and Nash knows that way of doing a jacket, and this is nowadays my absolute favorite way of doing it. This is so beautiful, so cool, and also the inner with, this is glued on, this Roger Dean painting in the middle. Also the way the gatefold is made at its spine is awesome, because we all know maybe the problems from the Music Matters Jazz and the Tone Poets. You have that wonderful crackle, but how often did it break here in the spine? That with that way of doing it, I think that cannot happen if you're not totally brutal to your records. And so that jacket is a masterpiece. Really, really, really beautiful. And now that I have the record store, I'm so delighted to see how big of an impression those jackets are to people who never had seen an Atlantic 75 or similar titles. when they tell, oh, what is this? Oh, so heavy, so sturdy, so thick. Wow, what a quality. It's really wonderful to see how impressed people, record collectors, are when they touch and see those Atlantic 75s or other gatefold titles from Analog Production for the very first time. Of course, when you listen, it goes on and even gets on a higher level in very many cases. But that's, you know how important jackets are to me, the packaging. So because it's the whole concept of a record in a way, sitting there, getting the jacket, looking the jacket, feeling the jacket, reading the jacket, and this of course helps the overall beauty of listening to a record. Yeah, Close to the Edge, my favorite Yes album. Of course, Fragile is probably easier to get into, but Close to the Edge is a masterpiece. It got mixed reviews when it came out, but like so often, the reputation of that record grew and grew and grew and grew. Maybe also the release of Yes Songs, this triple album live concert, which is probably, I think, mostly feeded by Close to the Edge, helped that reputation too. But also the members of Yes said that album, I think it's the fifth album, 1972, yeah, is our best one, at least so far. And I think it was Bill Bruford who also left the band. I think he went to King Crimson afterwards, who said we cannot top that one. And yeah, after all those years, I think they are for sure not wrong. So Close to the Edge, an absolute prog rock masterpiece, which is also on place number 5 at the Rolling Stones list of the most important and best prog rock records forever. What's that good for? But hey, you have to get to place number 5. The commercial success, I was astonished when I looked that up. Here in Germany, its highest place was 18, I think, US 35 or something. Great Britain place 11. Only one country where it climbed to number 1, if I remember correctly, and that's the Netherlands. So, go Netherlands! You really had had a great taste, at least at that time, because, as I said, that wonderful album is quite something. And now, how is the Atlantic 75 mastering? Like always, brilliant, because for several reasons. Those records, like the Genesis records, I mean, we have 38 minutes here, and song number 1 is over 18 minutes, the title track, Close to the Edge. They really, really, really benefit from the 45 RPM format. It has more air, more room, more information at a certain amount of time, and the sound really, really do benefit from it. I haven't heard someone said any different, and now that I got more and more in contact with people who also have that records, they usually totally agree. And that is really a big thing, that we have that iconic title now in this brilliant quality. It's, as I said, it's not as easy accessible as Fragile, but when you listen to it in one round and see the whole magnitude of the release, it's quite something. Wow. From Yes, Close to the Edge, to one of the most successful albums of Genesis, Abacab. Yeah, 3 guys. Banks, Collins, Rutherford. 1981, and this was a huge seller. Genesis now got into more radio friendly, more pop music, but not on a cheap, easy way. Phil Collins really took over in a way, and that, at least commercially, put Genesis at a new level. And here from analog production, we now have an all analog reissue of that really cool album. And yeah, how does it sound? I think, as so many of you, at least here in Europe, bought the Phil Collins face value. So it's safe to say, if you like face value, you will love Abacab. I mean, the title track, when the drums hits, the percussion hits, and that's really wow, engaging, and has a lot of punch and great sounding pop rock record. Yeah, Phil Collins. So there's only one Genesis title missing, I think, and that's Foxtrot. We will see Foxtrot, I think, and yeah, let's hope that it's not too far away. So then we have the Genesis titled All Done, which of course is amazing, and that goes vice versa, at least for the older Genesis, what I said for the Yes album. The 45 RPM format really helps those releases sounding in a completely new and shiny and airy and punchy and dynamic way. Wonderful to have those titles. That also goes for the Abacab. The Abacab, by the way, has a very nice label, not a generic one, so I show that label, of course, to you. Here you can see it. Yeah, I have it correct. Nice, colorful one. Yeah, record number 3. Not an Atlantic 75 title, but also a 45 RPM version. Again, in an amazingly beautiful cover, gatefold. We're talking here Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust. Of course, all analog and strictly limited in a numbered edition to 2,000 titles, copies, excuse me. Yeah, Diamonds and Rust, 1975. Joan Baez, the cover art, yeah. Let's say that the album is, for my taste, way better than the cover art. The song Diamonds and Rust is a wonderful folk song. Most of you probably do know that this is a song about her relationship with Bob Dylan, Diamonds and Rust. So, how does she mean that? And this is an audiophile jam. It sounds amazing. All you audiophiles out there, if you are into great sounding records, if you are into folk music, you will love that record. You'll love that record. What I also do like, and that's quite typical for Joan Baez, she has a mixture of own songs and songs from other artists. For example, we have Jackson Browne, we have John Prine, and others. So that's a very nice mixture of wonderful, also wonderfully performed folk songs. This is a silent one in a way, in my opinion, but a very strong one. You know, this is in the area of the Dean Martin record, where people will love those titles over years. I don't know how strictly limited it is, but 2000 maybe for not such a long time. But this 45 RPM, all you audiophiles out there, all you people out there who really care for great sounding records, you're gonna love that. Yeah, Those are the 3 releases for this video, plus of course the announcement of the Sonny Rollins Way Out West and Art Pepper meets the rhythm section. Due to the fact that I was all weekends, I had opened the shop, the record store, Friday and Saturday. I haven't had that much time to do videos, but now we are closed for 2 weekends and I have accumulated so many records, so that I try and talk to you about them. So I really do hope and I promise myself do them now, so that you get other fantastic records. It has been a great year so far with amazing records, so I hope I find the time, but I should, I need to, I want to. Okay, that being said, thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.